Okay, so in the following one, we will discuss textures and how to load such types of materials. Since two-dimensional textures are the most prevalent, we will only utilize them in this video. Textures can only be three-dimensional, can also be 3D, 3-dimensional. Next, we will import an image and convert it to a texture. To accomplish this, we will need to use the STB open source library, create a header file, and add it to our project file. In order to utilize the components of the STB library, we must also write the STB, the CPP, and implement it. Don't forget to include the STB header. And now put it in the main CPP and include the STB header so that we can actually use the STB library. And now adjust the coordinates in this SGL draw element function to make a square so that we can better the texture that we're gonna load in. And also, when importing an image, make sure to have the pixel by these sizes because it is better optimized when the image that we're gonna import are by these sizes. And now we put the image that we're gonna use in the resources files under the texture. Our image has to be a 1024 by 1024 pixels. And now we're gonna create a tree integer variable to sort the width, height, and the number of color channel it has. Then we'll store the image in an unassigned character array named byte. Then using the function stbi load and put the location and name of the image file and put the pointers of the variables that we previously created in here, and lastly 0. And now create the texture object by first creating a reference variable of the type glueInt and naming it texture. Then we use GL generate check texture to generate the texture object and put 1 because we will only have one texture and point it to the reference variable. And now that we created it, we should also delete it and at the end of the main function. Now we need to assign the texture to a texture unit. To insert our texture in a texture unit, we need GL active texture and plug in an index of the texture unit and bind it by using GL bind texture, inserting the texture type, which is 2D and its reference value. Now we have our text binded. Next is we have to choose how our bind or our image is processed by either GL nearest or GL linear. In our case, we use GL nearest. We use GL parametry function here, then the texture type, the setting we want to modify, which is minim and mag, and the value we want to give our setting, which is IGGL nearest. And we use GL repeat setting for the S and T axis. And now we use GL repeat setting for the. And now that we finished changing the settings, we now generate the texture by using the GL text image to the texture type 0, the type of color channels which we choose to be RGBA, then the width and height and 0, and the type of color channels, then the data type of the pixel and the image data. Now that we created the image data, we will delete it by using stbi image free, then bind the textures so we don't accidentally do something to it. Now we use the GL generate MIP map, then data type, so that these will generate the MIP map for the texture. Now we specify the coordinates of the texture in the vertices, then add a layout in the vertex shader. Now export the shader or the texture coordinates to the fragment shader, like in vector to text chord. Now create uniform sampler 2D, then text 0. Then equal the frag color to the function texture. Next is we create uniform in the main texture.cpp, then assign the uniform in the index of the slot text 0. Now activate it. Now don't forget to put this after you activate it. Now bind the texture in the main function, and for the last, don't forget to put stbi set flip vertically and on load true so that it flips the image right side up, because if you run while you didn't put these, then the image will be inverted upside down.